Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, is best known as the location for the Air Force Basic Military Training. It's also home to the first Air Force Reserve Squadron to fly its own C-5A Galaxy. The 68th Airlift Squadron has logged thousands of training hours, training the next generation of C-5 air crews to fly the force's largest airlifter. But tonight, Lackland plays host to the next generation of military boxers who have logged thousands of hours on their own, training for this year's Armed Forces Boxing Championships. Hello everyone, and welcome to TPC Sports coverage of the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. And a special hello to those who are watching on AFN. I'm Van Stokes, here with legendary boxing expert Bert Sugar. And Bert, it's great to have you with us.
Dan, I'm looking forward to this. We have some great fighters. We have some great matches. They give it their all, and they give it their all not only for themselves and for their close friends, peers. They're giving it for their branch of the service. You can hear it when they say "Go Army" or Marines, and they're cheering themselves on as well as those who are cheering them on. This is almost a turf war. It's for pride.
Pride, that core ingredient. And they do it for their service, but they do it in service to our country. Well, tonight, we'll take you ringside to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio for all the action in the 152-pound weight class. Well, let's get to the action. Air Force Staff Sergeant James Beck of Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, is up against Marine Corporal Joel Bolden of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Beck has 5 years of boxing experience, and Bolden has just one. Bert, do you think that experience factor can make a lot of difference?
I think so. I really do. I mean, Beck and Bolden sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
Almost.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. That's another. No, this is experience is exactly what that takes to make a fighter. Everything you learn becomes instinctive the more you learn it. And 1 year, unless he's a very good learner, is a little bit of a handicap versus someone with more experience. So we'll see if he can translate it.
Let's turn it over to ring announcer Castle Chalice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout will be contested at 152 pounds. Boxing out of the red corner, representing the United States Air Force, he is an aviation resource manager from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, now stationed at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia. Let's hear it for James Beck.
James Beck mounts the apron, comes to the ring, and has the customary salute to the 5 judges stationed around the ring.
Soon to be making his way into the blue corner. He is a U.S. Marine and a communications specialist from Orlando, Florida. He's now stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Let's hear it for Joel the Bold One Bolden.
Joel Bolden, representing the United States Marine Corps, out in the blue jersey and the blue trunks and the blue gloves, with the United States Marine Corps flag and his teammates behind him as he comes through the ropes into the ring.
Is Ricky Webb from Houston, Texas.
Ricky Webb will be our third man in the ring, the all-important referee. Let's take a quick look at the amateur rules in boxing. The bouts are 3 rounds of 3 minutes each with a 1-minute rest period in between. Now the judges are using a computerized scoring system in which each judge must register the blow with their with their score button. Now, the blows are scored when the white part of the glove strikes the head or the body in the front part of the torso. 3 out of those 5 judges must score a blow within a 1-second window in order for a point to count. Fouls result in cautions, warnings, or even disqualification. And remember, that referee, as he checks that headgear, he's the all-important third man in the ring. He can stop a bout for injury, a dominant lead, or for safety. Now that we understand the rules, let's get on to the action. The first preliminary bout in the 152-pound weight class. Tap your gloves, go back to your corners. The quick look around the ring to make sure that the judges are indeed ready and positioned. And there's the bell. We're underway. Preliminary bout. James Beck, representing the United States Air Force, red jersey, red trunks, and in the blue, Joel Bolden of the Marine Corps.
You can see right away that Bolden's the bigger man. He looks like he has shoulders on him that you could serve a sit-down table for 6 on. He is bigger, and as such, probably should be containing this fight from the outside, and Bolden is going to have to get inside against him.
Well, he's got the height, Bert, and right now he comes out swinging and has landed the first scoring blow of this round 1.
And yet he should be using his jab from out there. There it is.
Did not land, did not score. Again, the scoring portion of the body from the belt line all the way up to the top of the forehead on the front portion of the torso. In other words, you can't score when you hit behind. And you can't score, of course, below the belt. He leads with that jab.
And Beck is slow to retaliate. He's being beaten to the punch.
He stuck one there. And that time, you saw Beck retaliate a little bit, Bert.
Well, Beck's got to stay inside. That's his wheelhouse. And it's up to Bolden, the larger man, to control it from the outside. But you can see, while he's doing that, he's allowing Bolden to get in, Beck to get inside on him.
But yet, at this point in time, in the judge's eyes, this is a very evenly balanced. Oh, there's a quick roundhouse left by Staff Sergeant James Beck. Judges caught that one as Beck takes a narrow lead right now, 2-1. We dip under 1 minute to go here in round 1 of this preliminary 152-pound weight classes. In fact, Bert, we call this the welterweight class. For the London Olympics, they've gone down to 10 weight classes. Nice flurry of punches right there, body blows, but defended nicely by Joel Bolden.
But at 152, if this were professional, just to give it another reference value, this would be the super welterweight or junior middleweight class. Just so some who are more, if you will, familiar with professional boxing know where the 2 combatants fit in the weight scale area.
There's a nice flurry of punches.
And he scores with it. And it even the score 2-2.
Nice defense. A little bit of a clinch right now as we dip under 5 seconds to go. But covering nicely is Joel Bolden. And a very evenly balanced first round between these 2 boxers, Bert. I'd call it respect one has for the other.
And let's hear what the corners say.
Fly with your shots and go straight with him. Okay. Every time you're throwing your straight punches, he's moving back. Okay. Try to avoid him.
Get yourself in with that double jab.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Got to throw that 2 straight though. All right.
Coach Franco gives his instructions to James Beck.
He's got to keep inside. Beck, being the smaller fighter, has to fight on the inside, because if Bolden did his job and used his jab properly, he could keep him at the end of it all day, all night.
And Bert, I hesitate to bring this up, but we talked about wingspan.
Oh, here we go.
And you talk about wingspan, you see a little bit of a wingspan difference right now in Joel Bolden. Again, the longer, the lankier, the taller of the 2 boxers.
But he gives it away by getting inside. That's where Beck really wants him, inside. I mean, he's giving away 5 inches in height and about 4 inches in reach.
And our referee saying present yourself, keep your head up. You duck, you keep that head down, you will be warned or cautioned. And it could cost you. Again, this is not a high-scoring bout, Bert. A nice little barrage right there, but scoring blows not necessarily in the eyes of our ringside judges.
Or the non-eye.
Now the referee does not score. Again, unlike
nice right hand. You could see that, and it came, and it evens the scoring up.
Nicely done.
But again, he did it because Bolden has given away his height advantage and his reach advantage by coming inside.
Joel Bolden from Orlando, Florida. He's a radio operator when he's not in the ring, representing the United States Marine Corps.
There was that right hand his corner told him to throw, but it was errant.
Midway through this bout, we dip under 130 here to go in round 2. And he landed a punch there. Did James Beck.
Well, he was inside again, Van. That's exactly where he has to be. Again.
The only way you can neutralize, oh, and he lands one. Only way he can neutralize that reach, and the referee will give him an 8 count on that one.
Oh.
There's a solid right, as you can see right there.
Him.
Staggered him. A nice job by the official jumping in and giving the 8 count. Again, that's for safety purposes. When he sees a boxer staggered, he's going to deliver. So right now, Beck takes the edge in this bout, 6-3.
Look at that. He can jab his way in and throw the right hand. There he goes with that right hand again.
You get the feeling that Beck starts to sense a bit of an edge, but Bolden doesn't back down. He's only 1 blow behind.
Well, he's countered nicely, but he's also given up the outside to come inside. There it goes again.
James Beck lands another nice blow.
And it doesn't register with the judges.
They get caught in a clinch. Brought back to the center of the ring. 15 seconds remaining.
Another one.
Sticks a left and backs out.
And Bolden caught him with an uppercut on the inside, gaining a point there for himself.
And there's the bell. As round 2 comes to a close, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 3 when this 152-pound preliminary bout continues. Plus, Army takes on Navy in the next preliminary bout. Who will move on to the finals? Stick around and find out. Welcome back. We dedicate our coverage of the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship to all those deployed downrange. We thank you for your service. Now, let's get back to the action in the first 152-pound preliminary. In this third and final round, the Air Force's James Beck and Marine Joel Bolden are neck and neck in this bout.
I need a 1-2-1-2. Okay? Let's double it up. Let's double everything up. 1-2's landing. Let's go with a 1-2-1-2.
1-2, 1-2, double it up.
Straight, solid shots.
And get inside.
Well, he's got to get inside. These are good instructions.
So go get it, okay? You stop grounding him. Every time you ground him, he holds you because he's tired. You're wasting time. And then when he's grounding you, he's throwing an uppercut because he's shorter than you. Those are his punches.
And head coach Jesse Ravello says, watch out when you get inside.
And get this round, okay? Come on, man.
Don't crowd him. Use your advantage. Use your reach.
All you got to do is let your hands
With everything on the line right now, this final round is the determinant. Each corner is exhorting their fighter to fight their fight. Stay inside. They tell Beck, don't let him inside and don't let him crowd you, says the corner of Bolden.
Here we go, round number 3, Bert. And tactically, there's a lot on the line. And the boxer that fights tactically well will probably be the boxer that will come out on the end. As Bolden comes out swinging, he's met nicely by James Beck.
Well, each has to fight their fight. Everything is on the line here. They've all reduced it down to this one round. It's do or die for Old Central High right here.
Staff Sergeant James Beck in the red, boxing for the United States Air Force, and Joel Bolden, or Corporal in the United States Marine Corps, in the blue. The final round of this preliminary 152-pound bout. Bolden landed with the left, got a scoring blow.
But the right hand was it.
But Beck retaliates and comes back and evens out the score. We're under 2 minutes to go.
That was a nice 1-2 by Beck. Smaller man gets inside. He's even out jabbing him at times, which he shouldn't be able to if Bolden were fighting his fight. But Bolden doesn't come in behind the jab. He's not using his jab. He's scoring, but he should be using that jab.
Tactically, Beck is really trying to keep on the inside to take away that jab.
He has to, but he's not. There it goes again.
And you see Bolden really kind of sitting down on his punches, putting a lot of body behind that, Bert. And when they connect, they can cause some problems.
At times, they're air conditioning the first 3 rows, now just swinging away.
Flailing, wind gust up to 15 miles per hour. We near the 1 minute mark in round 3 of this 3-rounder. Joel Bolden took a shot just now from James Beck. But Bolden on the attack, he's continuing to move forward.
But he's not using his jab. Look at this, he's just running after him.
He is.
Where's the jab?
It's turning into a bit of a track meet, is it not?
Well, it's also not the fight that Bolden should be fighting.
And there you see, let's box, says the referee. And that's exactly what Beck does. The crowd likes the action.
Stylistically, it's not. Oh, that was.
It's no piece of work. It's no piece of work of art. Let's put it like that.
Stylistically, this is. It's an intriguing, exciting fight, but it's not a very, very artistic. I'll tell you that.
A brawl-like performance by both boxers as Beck goes over into the corner.
They're both tired.
They are both tired.
There's the fight, as close as you can get.
And the aggressiveness of Joel Bolden towards the end of that bout, had we been on a 20-must scoring system, Bert, that aggressiveness would have been big in the judge's eyes because he continued to move forward and push right straight down to the end. And look at the fatigue right now of James Beck. He's been in a Donnybrook. He knows that.
Well, it became a sort of just flailing brawl at the end because they were both so tired they couldn't get their hands up to do what it was they were supposed to. Now, that makes it an exciting fight, but Bolden shouldn't have allowed it to become an exciting fight. It was his to control.
Let's hear it, folks. How about a big round of applause for these boxers? What a show. Doesn't get close to the net.
Let's go to Castle for the official call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, and he is out of the blue corner, Joel Bolden.
So Joel Bolden is the victor. He will move on. We talk about power, we talk about punches, but we also talk about gas, and that's important as well.
Well, it is, and it's determination, it's desire, Van. It's everything a fighter needs. It's like when you're running on fumes, do you have it right here? It's called heart. Both of them did. Bolden, a little bit bigger heart.
Sometimes the things that count the most can't be counted, Bert Sugar.
I think the word is intangible.
Intangibles, that it is. Well, up next, another preliminary bout in this 152-pound weight class. It's Army versus Navy. Which service will take on Marine Joel Bolden in the finals? Stay tuned with TPC Sports. So far, Marine boxer Joel Bolden is heading to the finals. Who will join him in the ring? Here's a look at the competitors in this preliminary bout. The Army's Samuel Vasquez of Monessen, Pennsylvania, faces the Navy's Troy Browning of Willingsboro, New Jersey. Vasquez has been boxing for 15 years. His opponent, just 3. Now, Bert, once again, experience comes into play here. Will that be a factor?
Oh, yes. But as we just saw in the previous fight, it's experience plus determination. It's a very important element in the development of a fighter. Experience with a capital E.
That, as we just saw, heart as well. All right, let's get to the action in this second preliminary bout. Once again, here's Castle.
Making his way to the red corner, representing the United States Army, he is a cavalry scout from Monessen, Pennsylvania, now stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. He's the 2010 Armed Force Champion, the 2010 CISM Bronze Medalist. Let's hear it for Samuel Vasquez.
Vasquez takes that preliminary bow of appreciation to the ringside judges before he gets his headgear put on. He'll be in the red gloves. Has the gold and black armor uniform. Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the blue corner, he's representing the United States Navy. He's an airman from Willingboro, New Jersey, now assigned to the USS George W. Bush in Norfolk, Virginia. Let's hear it for Troy Browning.
Troy Browning comes up to the ring, jogging, Bert. He looks like he's ready to go and get this underway.
Your referee for the bout is Rich Neves from Pleasanton, California.
Well, anxiousness is important. Anxiety isn't. Which does he have? Can he control it? He's obviously in against a more experienced Vasquez. But sometimes just pure talent will out. Let's see.
He is the 2010 Armed Forces Champion as well as the World Military Boxing Bronze Medalist. Now that's called CISM, stands for Council International Sport du Militaire, the Military Sports Council. Over 100 countries belong to this organization, and they come together every year in the sport of boxing to see who has the best military boxer in the world.
This is a very impressive set of, if you will, achievements. It's a great, great resume. Let's see if he can resume his resume right here.
Well, he was the National Golden Glove silver medalist. No small claim to fame. That was in 2008. So Sergeant Sammy Vasquez of the United States Army, both boxers in black. But you see the Army around the waistband and the red helmet, the red protective headgear, I should say.
Dare we mention that Vasquez is a southpaw, which means that he is the unorthodox fighter. And it's sometimes more difficult to fight a southpaw, as Browning may find out. The one other thing to watch for is the foot movement. You try to keep your foot on the outside of your opponent's, which sometimes leads to both of them stepping on each other's foot, left-handed versus right-handed.
You saw Vasquez get off a couple of quick blows. He takes a 1-0 lead in the first minute of round one of this
And watch his foot. It's always on the outside of Browning's, which gives him the advantage on moving forward and away.
Now, the southpaw can be tough, but even tougher is the ambidextrous boxer, Bert. The one you don't know whether he's going to lead with the left or the right.
He just got hit with a nice shot that didn't register. The point is also with a southpaw, the best way to fight a southpaw is with either a left hook under his right arm or a straight right down the middle over his power left hand. There have been some southpaws who are turnarounds. Marvin Hagler was right-handed. He turned around to southpaw to get his heavy hand closer to his opponent. And conversely, you get people like Carmen Basilio and Oscar de la Hoya who were left-handed who fought right-handed because that was the orthodox way.
Well, the southpaw Vasquez takes a lead right now, 2-0. Who's the best southpaw you've ever seen?
It could be probably Hagler. But Pernell Whitaker was brilliant. There were so many great southpaws, which is of recent vintage. We've even had a southpaw for the first time, heavyweight champion, and Michael Moorer. You had him turn around in the old days. They once said of Hagler that he had 3 strikes against him. He was great, he was African American, and he was a southpaw. Therefore, he wouldn't get fights. But he proved him wrong.
That he did. That he did.
But look at Vasquez. Fast hands, inside, good defense, tight in. And he's fighting almost a perfect fight. See, that comes in, throws a flurry, and covers up.
Strategically and tactically, he's right on the money. As he's right now got Troy Browning over near the corner as round number 1 ticks away. There's the bell. And so the first round is in the books. And if you're Sergeant Samuel Vasquez, you've got to feel pretty good about your performance.
Thus far, he's fighting the perfect fight. And I ask you, don't forget to watch the hands, but look at the feet. He has got his right foot outside the left foot of Browning, and that is the way a southpaw should fight a right-hander.
Well, head coach Bashir Abdullah, the United States Army, is finishing his instructions to Vasquez, and we're set for round number 2.
Again, Vasquez, the left-hander, the unorthodox fighter with the Army waistband that says Army. How's that for?
That's pretty astute.
Listen, it's my eye chart for the day.
And here comes Vasquez.
And if Browning's hands are faster, he's sure not showing it.
It's not there as Vasquez got inside nicely with an uppercut. Quick combination. And over against the ropes goes Browning.
And notice Vasquez sets up a lot with his body work.
He does. He covers nicely, though, as he moves in order to launch that throw.
A good left to the body. And you don't say left hook for a left-handed fighter. It's a left. Period.
It's a left, period.
His hook is his right hand.
Ooh. As he mounts an 8-2 lead here with 1 minute gone by in round 2. Vasquez, stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, 24 years of age. And landing blow after blow, seemingly. You see the head. The head will bounce back from time to time. And when it does, that means there's been a connecting blow.
Where are the faster hands of Browning that his corner told him to use?
He gets off a few shots there. Does Troy Browning.
Picked up a few points. 2 off that last volley. But a nice right, a nice come over the top of Browning's right hand with his left by Vasquez.
To a large degree, these are 2 stand-up boxers out in the center of the ring. As we've gone under 1 minute in round 2 of this 152-pound preliminary bout, the winner will advance
to the finals.
To the finals, and will face Joel Bolden of the United States Marine Corps.
Vasquez has lengthened his lead. He's doing great work to the body.
Great work to the body, and then he'll come upstairs. As soon as those hands come down, he'll go upstairs to Troy Browning. And he's got power behind those punches. He's a strong boxer. Under 15 seconds remaining.
And he's fighting tirelessly. He just keeps coming. Once he's inside, working the body, he then moves upstairs and then back down to the body. Watch what he does.
That means round 2 is history. It is in the books.
The only chance he got a chance to win or land a Hail Mary shot by you going inside. Because you're so offensive minded, you ain't going back on defense. then you get tired, and then he scores.
You gotta press it and let your hands go. Okay? You know, it seems like it, but they're not going.
Coach Silva says you're not throwing.
Well, he's not throwing the punches he wants him to.
That's what I want to see in you. I want you to take the fight to him.
So he knows his boxer's behind a little bit, Bert.
Well, he's telling him what he's not doing, but the corner also should be telling him what he should be doing. If it were me, I would have already caught the first train going south.
But if you had missed that train and had been in the corner, what would you have told Troy Browning, who finds himself on the backside by the score of 11-4? What would you have told him?
Well, first of all, he's got to move him. He's got to move him, give him some angles, and come at him on the side. He's coming straight in, which gives Vasquez all the chance he can to counter even when he comes in. And that's what he just did, picking up another point.
Vasquez likes to stick and move. He keeps his distance, but then he'll take that step in and attack. Former welterweight Mark Breland made a name for himself in the 140 when it was 147.
Mark Breland, and again, I'm going to throw out the name of my book, The Ultimate Book of Boxing Lists. We picked the greatest Golden Glove champions of all time. Mark Breland is there. Mark Breland had over 100 fights and 99 knockouts and only lost once in the Golden Gloves. That's not a bad record.
I've had the opportunity to call that competition a couple of years, and I truly enjoy it because you have some of the finest amateur boxers in America.
Well, amateur boxing, and this is one, is excellent. It's a great place to watch boxing.
And I don't even really call it amateur boxing as much as I call it Olympic-style boxing. It seems to be more descriptive and people can relate to the Olympics. I mean, what's an amateur today? It's 2011.
An amateur today is a guy who makes less money than a pro.
I'm gonna have to take that definition away and use it sometime.
It's yours.
I got it. Thank you, sir. 14-4 right now. Samuel Vasquez continues to be dominant in this bout as he picks up a couple of more points now.
Well, he's fighting the right fight.
Tactically, he's fighting with his head. He's smart. He's not doing anything stupid. He moves in, continues to fight in round 3 like he did in the first couple of rounds, inside, low.
And then moves out.
And moves out.
He's even giving ground and winning points. Because two things. Browning can't hit him, and he counters.
As the final seconds tick away in this 152-pound preliminary bout, Samuel Vasquez ends it pretty much the way he started, and that was in control.
He was. He fought his fight. Anyone who can fight his fight. You asked a very important question beforehand about experience. You could see the experience.
How about
that he
it,
did,
folks?
and that experience certainly includes gold medals like winning this championship a year ago, as well as being the 3rd best boxer in the world when all the military boxers are together.
In his weight class.
We have a winner this evening, and he is out of the red corner, Samuel Vasquez.
So Vasquez is the winner of that preliminary bout, Bert. He will move on to the championship bout against Corporal Joel Bolden of the United States Marine Corps. He talked about being a southpaw as an advantage, but that was not the only advantage he had. He had that experience.
And he had fast hands. But by the same token, it is difficult to face a southpaw because you don't see that many of them. And I got a feeling that in that fight, he had total advantage. Foot outside, gave him the angles, faster hands, albeit the fact his corner said that his opponent had faster hands. Never in evidence. But Vasquez gave us a total show.
Up next, the final bout in the 152-pound weight category. It's Army versus Marine Corps. Which service will take home the gold? Stay tuned to find out. Here it is, the championship bout in the 152-pound weight class. The Army's Samuel Vasquez battles Marine Joel Bolden for the gold medal. Sergeant Samuel Vasquez was the 2010 Armed Forces champion. He's a cavalry scout now stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, as part of the Army's world-class athlete program. Here, he shares his boxing style and how he stays disciplined.
My speed and I have power. I'm pretty slick, hard to hit. My weaknesses, I really can't say I have any. I mean, not that I know of so far. Nobody tested my weaknesses yet, because if I have one, I work on it to where I don't have no more. You know, it's not, you know, you're not relying on anybody else. It's all about you. It's how hard you train and how hard you work out. I mean, I pretty much know, you know, what I'm gonna go, what I'm up against, basically, and most of his flaws, things that, you know, if he hasn't worked on it now, then it ain't looking too good in the future for him. I want to go to Olympic trials, win the Olympic trials, and go to Olympics, win the gold. After that, it's pro.
Vasquez faces off against Marine Corporal Joel Bolden, a radio operator from Orlando, Florida, who's now stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Here's how Bolden says boxing makes him a better Marine.
I played football, basketball, everything, and I never had to work so hard to accomplish. It's like a one-man sport. When you're in the ring, it's just you and him, not everybody else. But you got your team to support you. The Marine Corps boxing team, like my family, so that's what keeps me going. I'm tougher than nails, I can promise you that. Boxing style is just to walk my opponent down, you know, wait till they tire down, straight rights. I'd be first to the punch. When I get in the ring, I have that title on my shoulder, so it makes me a stronger person and a stronger fighter.
So, Bert, you see a defending Armed Forces champion, and then you see an athlete that's played multiple sports. How does this one line up for you?
Well, I like what Vasquez said. He has a feeling for what he's about in the ring. Yet, I'm a little off-put by the fact weaknesses, I don't know if I have any. He may find out. You don't want to find out in the ring. You want to find out in your sparring. Like, don't get hit would be a weakness. On the other hand, his opponent is a multi-talented athlete, but now he's got to channel it into one sport. This isn't about the other sports he mentioned, the football and the basketball. This is about boxing. Totally different. Totally different.
You heard him say that he works harder in this sport perhaps than other sports.
Oh, sure. This is a very demanding sport. There is nothing so exciting as doing road work in the morning and counting beer cans. I mean, I have to tell you. But it is a very demanding sport. And you see a lot of athletes, and you've seen them, whether it's Ed Too Tall Jones coming in from football or others, who just don't have that special skill to triumph in boxing. This is when you separate not just the men from the boys. You separate the boxers from the other athletes.
Skill and hard work, it's a combination that's tough to beat. Well, let's get to the action and turn it over to Castle as this final bout gets underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way now to the red corner, representing the United States Army, he is a cavalry scout from Monessen, Pennsylvania, now stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. He is a returning 2010 Armed Forces champion, the 2010 CISM bronze medalist. Let's hear it for Samuel Vasquez.
Well, Vasquez mounts the apron, slides in between the ropes. Bert, it looks like he brings a lot of energy to the ring.
Well, not only energy of his, listen to his fan base. They're hooting and hollering and really cheering him on. And here comes his opponent, Joel Bolden from the Marines.
And now, please welcome, making his way to the blue corner, representing the United States Marines. He is a communications specialist from Orlando, Florida. Now stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Let's hear it for Joel Bolden.
Joel Bolden, as we heard, multi-sport athlete.
Please welcome your referee for the contest from West Branch, Michigan, Mr. Spence Carpenter.
And you have to remember, while Vasquez dominated his preliminary opponent to get here, Bolden won by 1 point. Is that telling? In his march up to the finals.
Well, there you see the referee making sure that protective headgear is fitted properly. And the mouthpiece,
or as the Brits call it, a gum shield.
A gum shield, a mouthpiece, and then the protective groin device. They tap the gloves, center of the ring, they go back to the corners. We are set for the championship bout in the 152-pound weight class. Judges are ready, referees ready, underway, here we go.
And again, Vasquez, southpaw, which might give Bolden more problems than just a more experienced fighter.
So he's got not only the experience factor to contend with, I'm talking about Bolden now, but he's also got that left-handedness.
No, it's something you don't see. It's not what you're used to, the mirror reflection of you in the mirror as another right-hander, orthodox.
I like the base that Vasquez has. Very nice, very solid. It's a base you can deliver from.
Showing good footwork.
He's got his body behind his punches as he takes a quick 1-0 lead here. But Bolden continuing trying to land some jabs of his own. Now falls behind 2-0.
And it's interesting to note that that last point for Vasquez came on a jab. It's not necessarily just the knockout punches or the punches that are hard that are the meaningful scoring punches. It's a clean punch, period, end of paragraph.
But he follows up that clean punch, that right-handed jab, with a nice left.
Very tight inside, good defense. Moves out of harm's way and comes in, picks his spots, and finishes with the left hand.
And again, you talk about harm's way, you talk about down range. Again, a big greeting to all those watching this on AFM. Wherever you might be around the world, we're with you. Approach the 1-minute mark here in round 1 of this 152-pound gold medal match, and Vasquez sticking and moving out of the way nicely. He is a busy boxer, Bert. He's active.
Well, he's got a willing target there. Bolden is there for him. And when he lands his first punch, goes into a defensive mode. And he's not going to hit back from that. And Vasquez just tees off on him. T for 2 and 2 for 3 and 3 for T and teeing off.
And what movie did that come from, Bert Sugar?
That's No No Nanette by Vincent Yeomans.
You got it. Next, we're going to do boxing.
Oh, we are? Is that why we're here?
Oh, inside goes Vasquez. Up to the head. Nice cover that time by Joel Bolden. He prevented those blows from getting in and scoring, but nonetheless, Vasquez manages to run it up to an 8-1 score. 5 seconds remaining in the first round.
I got to look at that. And defensively, while Bolden is teeing off and missing him, he's showing everything. Defense, offense, fast hands, footwork. As the saying goes, who could ask for anything more? It's not a saying, it's a song, Bert.
It is a song. Where's that one come from? Let's listen to Jesse Ravello.
You are fighting scared. You got to put the pressure on this guy with your hands up. You're throwing one jab and then you're moving 10 miles away. How the hell you gonna land any punch? You got to walk him down. And this guy is so relaxed right now that he can last 10 rounds right now. And he can only last 1 round. He always get tired. You're not putting any pressure whatsoever on him. Okay?
Walk him down. Don't walk away from him. Come into him. Put the pressure on him. That's head coach Jesse Ravello talking to Corporal Joel Bolden.
Well, what in effect he's saying there, Van, is would you go on the offense? You're not going to beat him being on the defense and just catching punches. You have got to take the initiative.
It's just hard to land a good scoring blow backing up.
I've only seen Ray Robinson do that.
Here we go, round number 2. Ray Robinson, perhaps pound for pound, Bert Sugar.
Not perhaps, the best ever pound for pound.
The best ever.
No, perhaps.
Sugar Ray. There's been other Sugar Rays, but there's been only one, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Well, it depends on what age group. The younger guys will say Sugar Ray and then go Leonard. Look at this.
There's a flurry. Nice job by Vasquez taking the attack to Joel Bolden. Bolden overextends himself, cannot score.
Do you get the impression it doesn't matter what his corner says to Bolden? He's going to get an old-fashioned, as Muhammad Ali said, an old-fashioned butt whipping.
Well, this is one in which he really has his work cut out for him. No two ways about that. He tries to land with the left of his own. Is not scored by the judges. And Vasquez goes up 10-1 as we pass the first minute of round 2 in this 152-pound gold medal match.
Nice shot. Caught him off balance. But then again, catching Bolden off balance doesn't seem to be too difficult.
Again, it's the base of Samuel Vasquez that allows him to come and get those body blows. Continuing to move forward, comes in with the upper.
And the Army fans are just singing and having a good time, almost like a soccer game.
Stand up and box, says our third man in the ring. And that's exactly what Vasquez is doing. Bolden missing on his punches. And then getting tied up.
No, you're not supposed to do that. Vasquez, you're such a good fighter, you don't have to do that.
Vasquez continues to move in and land those body blows, Bert, but they're not being scored by the judges. Again, 3 out of 5 judges have to see that blow, have to score it all within 1 second.
But there's an interesting concept there, Van. A head blow is obvious because the man's head goes back. If you land a body blow, let's say on the left side, the people on the judges on the other side of the ring don't see it, by definition. Not so with a headshot.
And in Olympic-style boxing, that body blow can score just as much as the blow to the top of the head.
If they see it.
That's correct, if they see it. But as you said, it's more difficult to see inside.
And they're on the opposite side of the blow, 2 of them. Nice.
15 seconds to go. 12-1 lead right now by Vasquez.
It won't be 12-1 long, and it isn't. He's up in the paint cards now with his number of successful blows.
He's been the Avenger throughout. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 3 when this 152-pound championship bout continues. Vasquez has a substantial lead, but will it stay that way? We'll find out next. Welcome back. It's Vasquez versus Bolden. Round 3 and the 152-pound final bout is about to get underway, with Vasquez leading 13-1. Round 3, and you get the feeling, Bert, that if Vasquez simply keeps up the same strategy, the same style that he's used in the first 2 rounds, this one should be his.
Why not? It's been successful, Van. You know, you dance with the style you came in with, to misquote Bob Lemon.
Ooh, and there's the style on full display right there. A barrage of punches to the body, a couple up to the head. Vasquez turns up the heat. And the score rolls up in favor of Samuel Vasquez. Nice flurry, nice barrage.
Would you think that if that happened again and again, the referee might say enough? You know, that mercy rule aspect of it.
It might, but he's going to watch that boxer and watch him close. The referee's always going to stay to the open side of those two boxers to the best of his ability. He's got his eyes focused right now on Bolden. He's watching for those telltale effects to the body, to the head. Bolden returns. So does Vasquez.
I mean, but Bolden's best punch is a left jaw to the right glove.
An 8 count is anywhere in the cards right now.
Or is it a right jaw to the left glove?
And again, an 8 count doesn't take away anything. It's simply a safety mechanism that the referee uses in Olympic-style boxing. Bolden trying to deliver, but he's having a hard time getting in the defense of Vasquez. Meanwhile, Vasquez opens up, slips through nicely.
I see no reason to continue this fight.
Backing up a little bit goes Bolden. Oh, and there's the 8 count.
There should have been one before this. Look at that.
Nice combination. One minute approaching. 22-1 lead right now over Bolden. Vasquez on the attack.
There is no need for this fight. This fight.
Second 8 count.
Should have been over.
It is, Bert. It is. He has seen enough, and the referee stops the contest. There's the blow to the head, and Vasquez, very, very effective wobbly knee, wobbling back to the corner with the referee's help. Goes Joel Bolden. And Vasquez pummeled his opponent.
I think pummeled might even be too weak a word.
That is Dr. Marilyn Boitano, our ringside physician. She's been ringside at a number of Armed Forces boxing championships.
Vasquez just beat the bejabbers out of him. From get-go to get-end. And the referee, I thought, took too long in stopping a one-sided fight.
And the crowd shows its appreciation mainly for Samuel Vasquez, the United States Army, who showed why he's the defending Armed Forces champion. As both boxers are called to the center of the ring, still taking his time over in the corner is Joel Bolden.
This reminds me of Chuck Wepner. They once asked him after he was knocked down, how many fingers do I have up? And he said, how many guesses do I get? You take your time just to see that they're okay.
Let's go to Castle for the official call.
We have a winner out of the red corner, Samuel Vasquez.
Samuel Vasquez, the winner here in 2011, just as he was in 2010. And Bertie did it with style. Let's see what he has to say.
You did it again. They say you're not a real champ until you defend your title. 2010 and now 2011. How you feeling?
I feel great. First of all, I want to thank God, my father for being here, my family, everybody watching, and all the Army out there. Who?
Well, you did it in convincing style last year, and you did it again, a stoppage. Did you feel that you had the advantage? I mean, you were clearly running away on points. Did you think you were going to stop him the way you did?
I was just boxing, doing what been practicing. Last year, I was a little on the go, like all three rounds, doing a whole bunch of punches. So I was trying to learn and settle my pace a little bit and start being more slick of a boxer, and it paid off.
Well, it certainly did. I mean, you're in one of the toughest, the most competitive weight classes, and you clearly showed you're at the top of the game right now. Now you get a shot at the Olympic trials in 2012. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great, but I'm just saying everybody that's going to the Olympic trials in my weight class better just step back.
Samuel Vasquez, once again, our Armed Forces champion. And Bert, he said take one step back. He was probably talking to both of us as well. But you talk about a young boxer who looks sharp, felt sharp and was sharp.
Wait a minute, can you sing that in the old Gillette Blue Blade? To look sharp and be on the ball.
To feel sharp.
And that he was razor sharp. How's that for working it in? Samuel Vasquez is the goods. And you look forward to the point where he might be our Olympic representative in the 2012 Olympics in London.
Well, here's the thing, Bert. If there is a chink in that armor, if there is a weakness there that he doesn't know about, as he heads down the road towards London in 2012, it may be there. He may find it, but let's hope he finds it in enough time that he can work on it and make it strong.
The only chink I see might be overconfidence. You just heard him. They better step back. Somebody may not, but he is the goods.
You said it. Join us next time for more coverage of the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. I'm Van Stokes. On behalf of Bert Sugar and all of us here at TPC Sports, thanks for joining us. See you next time.